So in this final topic, we'll be creating the Geekiest Friends app, which will deal with personal information. So we'll be using the API to take information out about ourselves and the users that visit our page and do some cool stuff with it. And the final result will be an app that looks like this, and you click the button and we'll generate the Geekiest Friends, and we'll explain what that means as we make it. So the first thing we're going to do is become app developers. So Google, which is still Doctor Who themed, you want to type in Facebook developers and navigate to this page here. So if you've never developed a Facebook app before, you're going to have to click the green Register Now button. So you're going to have to go through a couple of boxes. Facebook's going to text you just to make sure you're not a bot and a responsible developer. So if you've already registered as an app developer, don't worry about this. But if you're following along with me, just skip until you're congratulations, done. And you're on this page here, which means you're officially a Facebook app developer. How exciting. Right, let's click Create New App to create a new app. This app name needs to be unique, so it might take you a couple of goes, but when you get something valid, click Continue. So after you've created your first app, you're taken to this app settings page, and the app domains needs to be jsbin.com. Create a new bin for our Geekiest Friends app to sit in. I'm going to quickly give my bin a title. So the jsbin web address is a second piece of information the developer settings needs. And you want to replace your version number and edit with latest, because that will always pull up the latest version of your JSBin. Click Save Changes and you're done. We've successfully registered an app with Facebook. So back in our bins, let's create a login button. So enable jQuery, and between the body tags, create a button. And in the opening button tag, create a class that we can reference in JavaScript. So I've created a class called login. So on our snippets page, linked to the video description, we have this thing called the login button. So this is a piece of JavaScript that I'm going to copy and paste in the JavaScript window, making sure that my class names login are the same. Clicking the button, we get a little pop-up appearing. Also, this piece of code here, console.log hi, that's writing hi to the console window. So JSBin has a console window, which we can see it running. Alternatively, and a bit more professionally, we can right-click Inspect Element and open the console in our browser and see it running there. So we've got a working button, but it's not logging us into anything. So we need to pair Facebook up with our JSBin, and for that we use the Facebook SDK. So let's give a bit of a Google for the SDK, Facebook SDK, and we're looking for the JavaScript one. So Facebook SDK for JavaScript. So this intimidating piece of code allows Facebook to talk to our JSBins, copy all of it, and just as documentation says, place it directly below the opening body tag. So I'm pasting it below the body tag, and I need to change one thing, app ID, your_app ID, I need to find my real one. Back to my Geekiest Friends app I made in Facebook. It gives me an app ID, it looks like this, copy it, and place it instead of your app ID. That's all the setup done, let's log into Facebook. So here's the login button again. When we click the login button, we have an alert of hello and a console of hi. So we have this chapter called Facebook Login, and when we click the login button, we want it to log into Facebook and console.log the response. So we're going to copy the entire snippet, and in our JSBin pages, in the JavaScript window, we're going to paste it instead of alert hello console.log hi. Then I'm going to give my button a test by clicking login. So this window pops up, and this is a crucial step because this window is Facebook asking for permission to use my personal information. If I click cancel, you don't get my information, but I'm going to click OK so we can continue with the build. This snippet also sends a response to the console, so let's open up the console window and see what's happening. And we'll make sense of what all this means after the break. We've logged people into Facebook and we've sent a response to the console. We're now going to work on that response and get some juicy information out. So back on the snippet site, just below Facebook login, we have a chapter called Getting My Data. Effectively, this code snippet is a Facebook API call that will return more personal information. So instead of console.log response, we're going to put in the Facebook API call and then click login. Up pops up my Facebook name and lots of personal information in the console window. So this is all the personal information coming back from that Facebook API call. The contents of that pop-up happen between the brackets after the word alert. So I can do whatever I want in this alert. I'm going to add some text saying my name is. You're adding text, you just need to make sure there's a plus before the JavaScript variable response.name. So at the minute it's response.name, which is giving back Moonhead freeformers, but I could do response.firstname or response.birthday. So I'm replacing response.name with birthday, and out pops my birthday. So we've got information out about ourselves, it's time to get information about our friends and who's the geekiest. This snippet here, getting friend information, is another Facebook call, but this time it gets back information about my friends. It needs to go instead of the Facebook call I made about myself, so get rid of Facebook me and have this Facebook friends part. Clicking on the login button, I get Emma's name in a pop-up, and I get a whole list of my Facebook friends information in the console. So working down the list of names in the console, Emma is my first friend, Alice is my second, and Gemma is my third. Let's get Alice's name in the alert box. So the key here is code starts counting from 0, so it needs to be response.data1 to pull up the second name in the list, which is Alice's. Get the ID up by replacing response.data_name with response.data_ID, and that'll pull up Alice's Facebook ID. So at the minute I've got an alert box saying my Geekiest friend, and what I want to do is append that to the HTML. So back in HTML I need to create a place where this JavaScript will be appended to, so that'll be a div with the class container. So then I append the JavaScript response.data_name to the div with the class container. We've appended the friend's name with the smallest ID. We're now going to use the for loop to get more Facebook friends on our page. So again, the snippet side has everything you need to know, including how to write a for loop. So if I wrap the for loop around the append command, but don't actually change the append command, then what I'll get is Emma's name coming up 5 times upon clicking login. But if I change response.data0 to response.data_I, then effectively the I will get bigger from 0 to 5 every time the for loop loops. So that's all hunky-dory, and I'm just going to add a line break so every new name appears on a new line. So we've got our friends' names appended. Let's go get their profile pictures appended to our JSBin pages too. So we have a code snippet section for this too, but effectively you need to change response.data_name to response.data_ID for images to work, and then wrap it within an image tag, just like we did when we got the pictures of the first 100 people to join Facebook. So we're appending Facebook profile pictures to container, and there we go. And finally, jump into CSS and get your Facebook app to look real nice.